Stacy Rothgeb, MBA student at the University of Denver, talking about this the session, the Energy Triumvirate, secure, affordable, and clean energy. And basically, this was a discussion with Ed Daniels, who is the director of Shell's sustainability strategy. The person interviewing him was Allison Hallock, the OMM lead for Shell's offshore wind program. And it was a pretty inspirational talk, which is great. So they right off the bat, like jump in the fact that of the criticism that Shell recently announced a new oil project off the Gulf of Mexico. I enjoyed hearing him say that, well, and basically the position on that was that, absolutely Shell's position for 2050 is a zero energy future. But we still have to get to 2050, and it's going to take steps to get there. And having this hydrocarbon rig, that it's funny that they don't say fossil fuels anymore, they are very distinctly hydrocarbon, that this is only a 15-year solution. So it's almost like a band-aid. They're like, we need this fuel to get us through until we are a completely carbon-free renewable energy source by 2050. So that they would openly acknowledge that. Ed was from England. He had a nice accent, and he was very complimentary of what's going on in the U.S. That was very notable for me, because usually I don't think people are complimentary of what we're doing. We tend to, I find most European countries usually are critical, and others are critical of what is going on in the U.S. But he said that the U.S. has superior entrepreneurial spirit. So he has this great confidence that the need for transition will be solved by the entrepreneurial force here, the need for that clean energy transition, and the fact that we are a civil society that has made it clear that they want this transition. And as long as the people are driving it, this is a theme I've heard in other sessions, that we will eventually get there. So he also was very complimentary of the Inflation Reduction Act, because it is a game changer in the world in energy transition. The idea of using such high amounts of funding towards incentives, carrots instead of sticks, and the impact will be more long lasting, is what he thought. And that he's talked to folks in Europe saying that they realize that this is going to change the playing field, and they're going to have to catch up and do similar things. So it was nice to hear some complimentary things. He also talked about, although there is this need to invest in improving technologies, we already have so many that are already ready, and it's just about making them better. So, that was another, I think, complimentary thing, is saying, what, I have hope. We've started figuring out what's needed, and if we keep working on those things, solar panels are a great example, where the cost, the productivity of them just keeps going up, the efficiency keeps going up, and the costs keep going down. And like this faith that that's gonna happen with other industries too. That's going to happen with hydrogen and some of these other things that we need to really transform our transportation sector. But he was asked about government policy and, talking about the IRA and the idea that government policy and regulation is fundamental to this energy transition. We won't be able to do it without it. And also that demand response is critical, that, when we use energy is as important as what energy we use, or how much energy we use. And I talk about this all the time related to buildings, is that, buildings have this amazing ability to shift when they use their loads, which is what makes them such an enabler of our clean energy future. And so reinforcing that point. It was interesting to hear that Ed, he said his personal opinion, not Shell's opinion, was that nuclear has got to be part of that, and Shell will probably not be part of that nuclear solution. So, I mean, this was nice. I've kind of had a number of deep discussions about specific technologies over the course of this event, and so it was kind of a good last day thing to hear Ed talk about that high level energy transition perspective from a major energy source provider like Shell Energy, and the optimism was very encouraging to know that, even a company like this, which, is a driver. I mean, they're one of the big ones. It's a driver of what we're going to do, that they are so focused on making the transition happen. Thank you.